Shannon Sharpe, once again, is putting the Ravens' loss against the Raiders on Lamar Jackson. Who would have guessed? I'm going to play the clip in just a second, but before we get into that, welcome to Flock Talk, your home for all things Baltimore Ravens football. If you are a Ravens fan and you're new to this channel, we're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers before the end of the season, so I need everyone watching this to hit subscribe, like the video, helps get these videos in front of more and more Ravens fans as we try to grow this channel this season. But enough of that. Shannon Sharpe and Chad Johnson were discussing the Ravens' loss on their Nightcap podcast, and Chad Johnson was the voice of reason in this clip. And Shannon Sharpe, once again, wants to place this on Lamar Jackson's shoulders. He threw Derrick Henry in there too, but I'm going to play the clip and give you a little reaction to it after that.
When they say it's a game of inches, this is what they talk about. Not only is it a game of inches, there are 1, 2, maybe 3 plays that make the difference in the game. We can show you the 1 or 2 or 3 plays on why they were able to come back and win.
They ran the ball well. Derrick Henry, 18 for 84. Lamar, 5 for 45. But with Lamar Jackson, MVP as my quarterback, and Derrick Henry as my running back, I should be able to hold a 10-point lead.
It also comes down to the play calling as well.
Okay, I'm going to take your argument.
Yeah.
What would you have liked to see them do more or less?
Run the ball a little bit more.
It is rare that you see them. Normally they have more pass, especially because they had the lead.
Bingo.
To have more passing attempts than rushing attempts.
Listen, you brought Derrick Henry in for a reason. Up 10 with 12 minutes to go in the fourth. That's when you're supposed to use your Derrick Henry to his advantage.
Give Derrick Henry another 6 or 7 carries. You didn't bring him there for 30. Give him 22 to 25.
To an extent, I agree with Shannon Sharpe here. And that is that with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, you should be able to hold on to a 10-point lead with 10, 12 minutes left in the game. I completely agree with that. But for anybody who looks at Lamar Jackson and says that this game is on him, I don't know. Do some of these analysts watch the game? In no way, shape, or form am I claiming to know more football than Shannon Sharpe. He's already forgotten more than I'll ever know. But did you watch the game? Have you been watching the Ravens? I'm sure he has. But how do you continue to put this on Lamar Jackson? Here's the thing. For one, I agree with Derrick Henry there as well. You should be able to hold on to a lead. The problem is they ran him one time in the final 10 minutes of the game for a 5-yard run. And then besides that, he was just MIA. Once again, it's like Derrick Henry's off the field. You would think they were down by 2 scores, trying to get back into it and not running the ball. That's how the play calling, I don't know why you wouldn't keep Derrick Henry on the field, because we all saw how stagnant the offense was, in particular in the first half of that game. And when did the Ravens start getting some push and start moving the ball? And when it led to their the scoring drives, it was when Derrick Henry was leading the drive. He was getting the ball, running in particular on the left side of the field. That is when the Ravens moved the ball. A couple of those drives, they made it look easy. And I know it wasn't, but that's how they made it look. They gave the ball to Derrick Henry and let him do his thing. And it led to a couple of scoring drives. And then all of a sudden, they just stopped going to him. It makes no sense. And he points out in this clip, I'm glad Chad Johnson said it when he was asked what he would like to see the Ravens do more, is run the football. Okay, and I love it. He reiterates that Lamar Jackson is a capable passer, and he is able to pass. The Ravens, truth be told, are built to run the football. That's how this team is built. Does that mean Lamar Jackson can't throw? Heck no, he can. But why would you get away from how your team is built? That has been the common denominator in this team since Lamar Jackson took over as the starter, is they've had a dominant running game. And a lot of that had to do with scheme with Greg Roman, but why on earth would you just completely abandon that? I love the fact that Todd Monken is trying to unlock more of Lamar's passing capabilities, but for some reason to just abandon the running game, especially when you're up by 10 in the fourth quarter, is totally harebrained and stupid, in my opinion. And when is John Harbaugh going to have his feet held to the fire over these blown leads? I keep hearing people say Lamar's a choke artist, but then I see so many Ravens fans who are speaking up saying this is on Harbaugh. This is a trend from John Harbaugh. And for all the people who say, well, Lamar has a top defense and he's a Hall of Fame coach and the Ravens are this, that. Do not forget that before Lamar Jackson took over the starting job, what would be the odds that John Harbaugh would still be here if Lamar Jackson didn't step in and revive this team? The Ravens weren't dominating people before 2019. They were middle of the pack and sometimes worse with John Harbaugh, your Hall of Fame coach, and your top defenses without Lamar Jackson. Now, I'm not saying John Harbaugh stinks as a coach. I think he is a good coach. But these blown leads are not on Lamar Jackson. Can he have a little slice of a blame? Sure, everybody can. The players make the plays. I agree with that too. But John Harbaugh, in the coaching malpractice, time and time and time again, it's just like we saw again. I keep referring to the AFC Championship game when they ran the ball 6 times with their running backs. That is not what the Ravens are built to do. They're built to run the football. And for some reason, this staff can't wrap their head around that. They just completely go away from it in the most inopportune times. This game is unacceptable that Derrick Henry got the ball once in the final 10 minutes when he was the biggest driving factor in their offensive success in the second half. Derrick Henry was leading those drives and was opening up the play action with Lamar and Zay Flowers that we saw. So, and then to just completely make him Derrick Henry a non-factor the rest of the way is just dumb. And I don't know why people like Shannon and Sharpe don't get on John Harbaugh for making these decisions, because at the end of the day, he's the head coach. He would have the final say to say, no, we're running the football. But they don't. It's like they try to get too cute for themselves and go back to screens and setting Lamar back to throw the ball. It just doesn't make sense. Anyone who puts this game on Lamar Jackson, I don't think you watched the game. Taking nothing away from the Raiders, they made all the plays they needed to. But because this is such a trend with the Ravens, you can't just look at this and say, well, the Raiders just happened to make more plays down the stretch than the Ravens did. Okay, because that's the other argument. Oh, well, no one's talking about the Raiders winning the game. The Raiders did win the game, but the Ravens keep losing these games, which is not good. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you agree with Shannon Sharpe? Do you agree with Chad Johnson? Let me know your thoughts of this clip in the comments. If you're new to this channel and you're a Ravens fan, this is absolutely the place to be. We're trying to blow this thing up this season, help me get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the season. I appreciate all you tuning in and watching. I'll see you in the next video. Go Ravens!